Vandeham Shri Guru.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnana Tirandasya Jananandana Salaka Chakshuran Militangana Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Satpitam Yana Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gada Mandadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Shaditam Shavadutam Parajanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Shya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Sushavanu Sita Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namarom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinaminen Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharinen Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarinen Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashri Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are reading this verse, chapter 3, type 6. Karmendriyani samyamya yaste manasha smaran indriyartan vimudatma mityachara sauchyate. In karma indriyani, the 5 working sense organs, samyamya, controlling, yaha, anyone who aste remain manasa, by the mind, smaran, thinking of, indriya arthan, sense object, vimudan, foolish, atma, soul, mityachara, pretender, saha, he, uchyate, is called. One who restrains the sense of action but whose mind dwells on sense objects certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. There are many pretenders who refuse to work in Krishna consciousness but make a show of meditation, while actually dwelling within the mind upon sense enjoyment. Such pretenders may also speak on dry philosophy in order to bluff sophisticated followers. But according to this verse, these are the greatest cheaters. For sense enjoyment, one can act in any capacity of the social order. But if one follows the rules and regulations of his particular status, he can make gradual progress in purifying his existence. But he who makes a show of being a yogi while actually searching for the objects of sense gratification must be called the greatest cheater. Even though sometimes speaks of philosophy, his knowledge has no value because the effect of such a sinful man's knowledge is taken away by the illusory energy of the Lord. Such a pretender's mind is always impure, and therefore the show of logic of yogic meditation has no value whatsoever. So here you can see the devotional service is not a show bottle thing. Devotional service is a serious thing because you cannot cheat. You cannot cheat Krishna. That's not possible. Krishna says among the cheaters, I am the greatest cheater. So if someone wants to make a show of God consciousness or Krishna consciousness, he will surely fail. Why? You can see in many verses. You see here in this verse, Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridesha arjuna tishtati brahmanya sarva bhutani yantrurani maya. See, The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities, who are seated as on a machine made of material energy. So, we have to understand Krishna is sitting in everybody's heart. Uh, and he knows. Not only he knows, he's also hearing. उपदस्त अनुमंत च भारत भोक्त महेश्वर परमात्मेति चापि युक्तो देहिस्मिन् पुरुष परः. Here in this body, there's another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the Supreme Proprietor, who exists as the overseer. See this word? He is witnessing, overseeing, and is also the permitter. He is the one who is giving the okay signal for anyone to get anything. It doesn't mean that because you are not praying to Krishna, then Krishna is not providing. Maybe you are a devotee of Lord Shiva or Ganesh or Muruga. It doesn't matter. Whatever you are doing, it is only sanctioned by the Lord. Not that, because you are going somewhere else, so the Lord is not in control. Doesn't mean that. You see? You can see here, endeavors such a faith endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtain desire. But actuality, you see this, the benefits are bestowed by me alone. So there's no question of anyone being not directed by Krishna. That's not possible. You may accept his authority or you don't accept his authority. That's another thing. But everybody is under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nobody is outside the purview of the Lord. You see? It's 9, 10, is it? See here in this verse, the material nature is one of my energies working under my direction, Osana Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and enlightened again and again. So nobody is outside this control of the Lord. You understand? If you try to think that you are going to be outside the control of the Lord and do your own speculation, then you're actually not understanding properly. That's why it's better to be sincere and not to become, what we say, a pretender. Because by pretending, you're not going to make any success anyway. That's why Krishna said, those who are meek and humble, those who are sincere, they can come to me. Why? Because they are some humbly tried. See? As I also said, that there are 4 kinds of people who come to me. You can see here, Chaturveda bhajante mam janaha skritinurjuna arto jikyasu artha arti jnanicha bharata shabha. For best among the Bharatas, 4 kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me. The distressed, the desire of wealth, the inquisitive, and who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. So all kind of people come to me. That means these are sincere people, So it's not that you can cheat, Like in the material world, many people, they escape by cheating. And that may be so in a material situation. But spiritually speaking, nobody can cheat the Lord. As I've showed you this now, the Lord is as a witness sitting in everybody's heart. And He knows what is going on, what is happening. Everything He knows. So there's nobody can actually do anything without Him watching. You follow? So therefore anyone is intelligent, he will try to make serious attempt, humbly go to the Lord. Even he wants some material, he's in distress, he wants something, he wants something, or someone wants some wealth, or someone is inquisitive, Uh, so by all means, they should take to the service of the Lord. And the Lord is very kind. Not that He will not entertain you. Oh, He will entertain anybody. He will entertain everybody. Not that He will miss somebody out. Uh, no, He will. He's very, you know, can see it is explained here. Even if you have material desires, akama, sarva kama va, moksha kama udarati, trivena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param. A person who has broader intelligence, whether he be full of all material desire, without any material desire, or desiring liberation, by all means, you must worship the Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead. So Krishna is very kind. You know, anybody who has anything, they should go to worship the Lord, because He is. If anyone goes to Him, it does not show show Him away. You understand? He is. There's nobody more merciful than Him, and it's not that He will cut off somebody because He doesn't like or something. No, you know. Here you can see how His mercy is exhibited in this verse. Aho baki yam stana kala kutam jikyam sriya payayat api sadvi lebe gatem tatri uchitam tatonyam kam va dayalum sharanam vrjema. Less how shall I take shelter of one more merciful than He, who granted the position of mother to a she-demon Putana, although she was unfaithful and she prepared deadly poison to be sucked from her breast. So you see how here the Lord is so kind that uh, even Putana went to kill him. Somebody is going to kill him. He awarded the status of mother to her, and of course he killed her. So even if someone goes to him with a bad intention, they also benefit. Understand? They also benefit. So there is no way someone can lose by going to the Lord. Even he goes with a sinful desire of even trying to kill the Lord still awards that person the supreme destination. So how much you can see the Lord is so kind. How much He is so benevolent. There's another verse. The Lord says, if someone is interested in material desires, uh, although he wants material benefit, he goes to him. You see this verse, I'm going to take it out for you. Give me a minute here. So someone going to kill him also get benefit. What to speak of anybody who can be more merciful than him. Someone comes to kill you and you give him the highest benediction. Is there anybody in history who does something like that? The Supreme Personality of Godhead fulfills the material desires of a devotee who approach him with such motives. But it does not bestow benediction upon the devotee that will cause him to demand more and more benedictions. However, the Lord willingly gives the devotee shelter his own lotus feet, even though such a person does not aspire for it, and that shelter satisfies all his desires. And that is the Supreme Personality's special mercy. You understand? Well, the devotees mentioned in the previous verse approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead in material bond by motive. But this verse explains how such devotee is saved from such desires. Let us go and see what is that verse before. In Bharatavasa, there are many worshippers of the demigods, the various officials appointed by Supreme Lord such as Indra, Chandra, Surya, all of whom are worshipped differently. The worshippers offer the demigod the oblation, considering the demigod part and parcel of the whole Supreme Lord. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepts this offering, yet raises the worshipper to the real standard of devotional service by fulfilling their desires and aspirations. Because the Lord is complete, offers the worshippers the benediction they desire, even if they worship only part of his mental body, that we have described just now. So just now we discussed this verse, Akama Sarvakama Va Moksha Kama Udarati Jate Purusham Param. Whereas one is free from all material desires, is full of material desires or desires to become one with the Supreme, he should engage in devotional service. In this way, not only will the devotee's desire be fulfilled, but the day will come when he will have no other desire than to worship the lotus of the Lord. One who engages in the service of the Lord with some motive is called a Sakama Bhakta. One who worships or serves the Lord without any motive is called a Akama Bhakta. Krishna is so merciful that he turns a Sakama Bhakta into Akama Bhakta. A pure devotee, an Akama Bhakta who has no material motives, is satisfied simply to serve the lotus feet of the Lord. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 6:22. Yam labdva chaparam labam manyate nadikam tata. If one engages in the service of the lotus feet of the Lord, he does not want anything more. This is the highest stage of devotional service. The Lord is so kind even to a Sakama Bhakta or motivated devotee that he satisfies desire in such a way that one day he becomes Akama Bhakta. Dhruva Maharaj, for example, became a Bhakta with the motive of getting a better kingdom than that of his father. But finally he became an Akama Bhakta and he said to the Lord, Swami Kritos Arthosmi Vacham Varam Na Yache. Go to this full verse. When he was blessed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Guru Maharaj said, O my Lord, because I was seeking an opulent material position, I was performing a severe type of penance and austerity. Now I have gotten you, who are very difficult for the great demigod, saintly person, and king to attain. I was searching after a piece of glass, but instead I found a most valuable jewel. Therefore I am so satisfied that I do not wish to ask any benediction from you. See this point? The moment he came, he was interested in some material thing. This is called Sarvakama Bhakta. He wanted something, some kingdom higher than his father, Brahma even. Then when he saw the Lord, he said, I don't want anything more. See? He said he came looking for some pieces of glass. But instead he found the most valuable jewel. And therefore I am so satisfied that I do not wish to ask any benediction from you. So even though you are full of material desires, but if you are sincere, you are not a pretender, then you can be reformed. As there's a saying, you can wake up a sleeping person, but you cannot wake up a person who is pretending to sleep. That's not possible. So a person who is trying to become a pretender in Krishna consciousness, he only be cheating himself, because the weeds of sinful activity in his heart will not be purified. The weeds in the heart are explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. You know, It is like, what is it? Kuti Nati. Uh, Let me find that verse for you. Just give me a minute. All right, you can see here. Let me just go one verse above. Sometimes unwanted creatures such as the creeper of desire for material enjoyment and liberation from material world grow along the creeper of devotional service. The varieties of such unwanted creepers are unlimited. What are these unwanted creepers? This is explained. It's called Nishidacharaha. Nishidachara means behavior not to be exhibited by a person desiring to become perfect. Kutinati, diplomacy. That means, you know what is diplomacy? Talking good in front of the person, and then at the back of the person you speak all the bad things. And this is called diplomacy. Jiva Himsana. This Jiva Himsana means unnecessary killing of animals or the soul. And Labha, profit, according to material calculation. So he is trying to do devotional service with some intention of getting some profit. And puja, adoration achieved by satisfying mundane people. He always looking for some kind of worship. He wants to be worshipped by satisfying mundane people. Pratistha Adi. Pratistha Adi means becoming an important man in material calculation and so on. Yata, all these upasaka gana, unnecessary creepers. So some unnecessary creepers growing with the bhakti creeper are the creepers of behavior unacceptable for those trying to attain perfection. Diplomatic behavior, animal killing, mundane profiteering, mundane adoration, and mundane importance. All these are unwanted creepers. There is a certain pattern of behavior prescribed for those actually trying to become perfect. In our Krishna conscious movement, we advise a student not to eat meat, not to gamble, not to engage in illicit sex, and not to indulge in intoxication. People who indulge in these activities can never become perfect. Therefore, this regulative principle are for those interested in becoming perfect and going back to Godhead. Kutinati or diplomatic behavior cannot satisfy the Atma, the soul. It cannot even satisfy the body or the mind. The culprit mind is always suspicious, and therefore our dealing should always be straightforward and approved by Vedic authorities. If we treat people diplomatically or dupliciously, our spiritual advancement is obstructed. You see, that's a very important point. If we treat people diplomatically or dupliciously, our spiritual advancement is obstructed. So we cannot behave like that, be nice in front and then at the back speak bad. This is all not very good qualities of the mind. That means our heart is not clean, So inside our heart we are keeping so many dirty things, Then another one is Jiva Himsa. Killing refers to killing of animals or to envy other living entities. Not only killing, but to envy other living entities. So we have to give up this envious position. The killing of poor animal is undoubtedly due to envy of those animals. Human form is meant for understanding Krishna consciousness, atato Brahma Jigyasaha, for inquiring about the Supreme Brahman. In the human form, everyone has a chance to understand the Supreme Brahman. The so-called leaders of human society do not know the real aim of human life and are therefore busy with economic development. This is misleading. Every state, every society is busy trying to improve the quality of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. The human form of life is meant for more than this, a four animal principle. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending are problems found in the animal kingdom, and the animals have solved this problem without difficulty. It's an amazing thing. The animals of society be so busy trying to solve this problem The difficulty is that people are not educated to understand this simple philosophy. They think no eternal benefit. Similarly, adoration of mundane people is useless because after death one has to accept another body. Material adoration and titles are decoration that cannot be carried over to the next body. In the next life, everything is forgotten. One has a chance to understand the Supreme Brahman. The so-called leaders of human society do not know the real aim of human life and are therefore busy with economic development. This is misleading. Every state, every society is busy trying to improve the quality of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. The human form of life is meant for more than this, a four animal principle. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending are problems found in the animal kingdom, and the animals have solved this problem without difficulty. It's an amazing thing. The animals are now not striking or not fighting because there's not enough grain or food to eat. They have no problem. Only the human beings have problems. Why should human society be so busy trying to solve this problem? The difficulty is that people are not educated to understand this simple philosophy. They think that advancement of civilization means increasing sense gratification. There are many religious propagandists who do not know how the ultimate problem of life can be solved, and they also try to educate people in a form of sense gratification. This is also Jiva Himsa. Real knowledge is not given, and the religion is misled the general populace. As far as material profits are concerned, one should know that whatever material benefit or profit one has must be abandoned at the time of death. Unfortunately, people do not know that there is life after death, and therefore mundane people waste their time amassing material profit which has to be left behind at the time of death. Such profit has no eternal benefit. Similarly, adoration of mundane people is useless because after death one has to accept another body. Material adoration and titles are decoration that cannot be carried over to the next body. In the next life, everything is forgotten. All these obstructions have been described in this verse are unwanted creepers. They simply present obstacles for the real creeper, the Bhakti Lata. One should be very careful to avoid all these unwanted things. Sometimes these unwanted creepers look exactly like the Bhakti creeper. They appear to be of the same size and the same species, and they are packed together with the Bhakti creeper. But in spite of this, the creepers are called Upashaka. A pure devotee can distinguish between the Bhakti creeper and the mundane creeper and is very alert to distinguish them and keep them separate. That's why association of devotees is very important. For a person who is new, he may not understand these things. He may think that it's all the same and all kind of speculation. Hmm? You understand? So therefore, with the help of pure devotee, it's very easy for us to give up all these bad habits. If one does not distinguish between the bhakti creeper and other creepers, the sprinkling of water is misuse. Because the other creepers are nourished while the bhakti creeper is curtailed. If one chants the Hare Krishna mantra while committing offenses, these unwanted creepers will grow. One should not take advantage of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra for some material profit, as mentioned in verse 159. Uh, the unwanted creepers have been described by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He says that if one hears and chants without trying to give up offenses, one becomes materially attached to sense gratification. One may also desire freedom from material bondage like the Mayavadis, or one may become attached to the Yoga Siddhis and desire wonderful yogic powers. If one is attached to wonderful material activities, one is called Siddhi Lobi, greedy for material perfection. One may also be victimized by diplomatic or crooked behavior, or one may associate with women for illicit sex. One may show a show of devotional service like the Pakata Sages, or one may try to support his philosophy by joining some caste or identifying himself with a certain dynasty, certain claiming a monopoly on spiritual advancement. Thus, with the support of family tradition, one may become a pseudo guru our so-called spiritual master. One may become attached to the four sinful activities of illicit sex, intoxication, gambling, and meat eating. Or one may consider Vaishnava to belong a mundane caste or creed. One may think this is a Hindu Vaishnava, this is European Vaishnava. European Vaishnavas are not allowed to enter the temples. In other words, one may consider Vaishnava in terms of birth, thinking one a Brahmana Vaishnava, another a Sudra Vaishnava, another a Malacha Vaishnava, and so on. One may also try to carry out a professional business by means of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra or reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Or one may try to increase his monetary strength by illegal means. Also, one may become a cheap Vaishnava by trying to chant in a secluded place for material adoration, or one may desire mundane reputation by making compromises with non-devotees concerning one's philosophy of spiritual life. Or one may become a supporter of a hereditary caste system. All these are pitfalls of personal sense gratification, just to cheat some innocent people. One makes a show of advanced spiritual life and becomes known as a sadhu, mahatma, or religious person. All this means that the so-called devotee has become victimized by all these unwanted creepers, and the real creeper, the bhakti lata, has been shunted. So this is what happens when you become a pretender. When we become a pretender in Krishna consciousness, then this is exactly our position. We try to make a show of our spiritual life. And in the showing process, and the weeds of devotional creeper will grow and shunt our real devotional service. And then our real devotional service will become shunted. Then what will happen to our spiritual life? You can see here. As soon as an intelligent devotee sees an unwanted creeper growing beside the original creeper, he must cut it down instantly. Then the real creeper, the bhakti lata, grows nicely, returns home, back to Godhead, and seeks shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna. So in other words, the objective of our spiritual life is to develop love for Krishna. And that means taking shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. And now we are not growing very nicely towards that. That means our spiritual life has got some problem. And we do not know how to identify the problem. Then we must go and seek shelter of some advanced devotees, take association of such devotees, disclose our mind confidently, inquire confidentially, and take direction. In this way, we can very easily clean our heart of all this, material, disease. But if we try to be a pretender and try to pretend and not accept this on the real context sincerely, then there's no hope. As we said, we can wake up a sleeping person, but we cannot wake up someone who is pretending to sleep. If one is misled by unwanted creepers and is victimized, he cannot make progress back to Godhead. Rather, he remains within the material world and engage in activities having nothing to do with pure devotional service. Such a person may be elevated to heavenly penance, but because he remains within the material world, he is subject to the threefold material miseries. You see? But on the other hand, when he is practiced seriously, when the fruit of devotional service become ripe and fall down, the gardener tastes the fruit and take advantage of the creeper and reaches the desired tree of the lotus feet of Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. Then he gets what? That the devotee serves the lotus feet of the Lord, which are compared to a wish-fulfilling tree. With great bliss, it tastes the juice of the fruit of love and becomes eternally happy. So the word tahan indicates that in the spiritual world one can taste the juice of the fruit of devotional service and thus become happy. To taste the fruit of devotional service in Goloka Vrindavan is the highest perfection of life, and in the presence of such perfection, the four material perfections, religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation are very insignificant achievements. The highest achievement attained by the Jnanis or impersonalists is becoming one with the Supreme, generally known as moksha, liberation. The highest achievement of the yogis are the eight material perfections, such as anima, laghima, and prapti. That these are nothing compared to the eternal bliss of the devotee who returns back to Godhead and tastes the fruit of devotional service to the lotus feet of the Lord. The material perfection, even up to the point of liberation, are very insignificant in comparison. Therefore, the pure devotee is never interested in such things. His only interest is perfecting his devotional service to the Lord. The pleasure of the impersonalists, monists, and philosophers is condemned in the following verse. It is also found in Rupa Goswami's Lalita Madhava. As long as there is not the slightest fragrance of pure love of Krishna, which is the perfect medicinal herb for controlling Lord Krishna within the heart, the opulence of material perfection known as the Siddhis, the Brahminical perfection, Satya, Sama, Titiksha, and so on, the trance of the yogis, and the monastic bliss of Brahman all seem wonderful for men. There are different types of perfection known as Siddhi Vraja, also the perfection achieving Brahminical qualification, yogic trance and merging into the Supreme. All these material perfections certainly very attractive for a mundane person, but their brilliance exists only as long as one does not take to devotional service. Devotional service can control the Supreme Personality of Godhead with the supreme control of all universal affairs. The five rasas, mellows in the transcendental world are practiced by the inhabitants of Goloka, Vrindavan in neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parental love, and conjugal love. All this pleases the Lord so much that he is controlled by the devotees. For instance, Mother Yasoda is so advanced in devotional service that Krishna agreed to be controlled by a stick. In other words, the five principal mallows are so great and glorious that they are able to control the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the material world, however, the so-called siddhis or perfections manifest their brightness only as long as one is not interested in devotional service. In other words, the perfection of karmis, yanis, yogis, and others remain attractive only as long as one does not come to the point of devotional service, which is so great and significant that it can control the supreme controller. So therefore, we first have to understand what happens when we get uh, when one situated in pure devotional service, he develops love of Godhead. Therefore, let me describe some of the symptoms of pure devotional service. So, of course, this is something a different. Pure devotional service means when first class devotional service developed, one must be devoid of all material desires, knowledge obtained by monastic philosophy and fruitive action. The devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires. So we have to now let us go on to the other point which I also need to discuss. Suppose I have all these bad qualities, then how do I purify myself? Suppose I am not having purified desire in my heart, so what should I do? How do I clean myself? The process is that we must take shelter of a pure devotee. That's the first step. Then we must learn how to follow his direction. We must accept a pure devotee and try to take direction from him, and then eventually we should try to get initiated by him. And when we practice the rules and regulations as laid out by him, then all these dirty things in the heart can leave. All the dirty things in the heart will become purified. By constantly serving the pure devotee and hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, all that is dirty thing in the heart will become removed. Understand? So there is no other way than that, because if you keep all these anarthas in the heart, then as is explained, even though you may chant Hare Krishna for millions of lifetimes, you cannot get any perfection. You understand? If you can carry on chanting and chanting and chanting, you find that you're not going anywhere. Now what is the problem? That means some weeds have overtaken our spiritual life. So the solution is to go take shelter of the devotees in the temple, inquire from them, associate with them, sincerely. We have to come out sincerely, not show bottle, and that will not work. We try to become pretenders to show the devotees that we are good and then go home and do all nonsense. Then how a person can make spiritual advancement? Is only going to be cheating himself. Because this devotional service, you cannot cheat. Either you have Krishna or you don't have Krishna. And how you have Krishna, the symptom is there. It is explained what are the symptoms of a person who has Krishna and of a person who does not have Krishna. This is the symptom of a person who has Krishna, who is connected to Krishna, who is sincere. Bhakti parasa paresa anubhava virakti anyatra chaishya trika ekakalaha pratyatya manasya yatasnata syu tusti pusti chut apayo nuga anugasam. Devotion, direct experience of the Supreme Lord, and detachment from other things. These three occur simultaneously for one who has taken shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the same way that pleasure, nourishment, and relief from hunger come simultaneously and increasingly with each bite for a person engaged in eating. So this is the example given. What is it given? That when you connected properly, if you are actually properly situated, doing it nicely, then you will get bhakti. You will get devotion for Krishna. That means, what is the symptom of bhakti? Devotion. That you will also get realization. So when you are in devotional service, you will also get realization because Krishna is sitting in the heart, See that Krishna is sitting in the heart. See that here. Krishna is sitting in the heart to show them special mercy. I, dwelling in their heart, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. In other words, if you are connected and doing properly, then from your devotional service, you get realization. And realization comes when all the dirty things are cleaned up. See that? To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. That means Krishna is sitting in the heart. Krishna is sitting in the heart and is giving you how to understand. Understand? Now, Krishna is sitting in the heart and he is giving. You see that? He says here, I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta and I know of the Vedas. In other words, Krishna is giving you the intelligence. So if you are really properly connected, then you will get this bhakti and also you will get realization. Understand? And another thing that will happen to you is that you will also become detached from all this detachment from other things like sinful activities. You become detached from sinful activities like meditating, illicit sex, gambling, intoxication. These things, don't even come in our heart. We don't even dream of going to the McDonald's and eating a hamburger or smoking a cigarette. This don't even come in a dream for a person who has taken up this devotional service. So this process is extremely powerful because it uproots the weeds from the one's heart. It is not some joke. See, you understand? Krishna consciousness is so powerful. Only a rare person who has adopted complete unalloyed devotional service to Krishna can uproot the weeds of sinful action with no possibility that they will revive. He can do this simply by discharging devotional service, just as the sun can immediately distract fog by its rays. So a person who takes up the process of devotional service, then all this dirty thing in the heart will be pulled out from the root. Not just upstairs you cut. You cut upstairs, the weeds will grow again. But by doing this devotional service, all the weeds, all these sinful activities, all this cheating propensity and all will be pulled out completely. You understand? Huh? My dear King, if a sinful person engages in the service of a bona fide devotee of the Lord and thus learns how to dedicate his life unto the lotus feet of Krishna, he can become completely purified. One cannot be purified merely by undergoing austerity, penance, brahmacharya and other methods of atonement as I have previously described. So you try to understand, Krishna consciousness is very powerful. Even though you have many nonsense in the heart, if you sincerely submit and not pretending, if you sincerely submit, then everything will work wonderfully. So alright, I'm going to stop here. Anybody got any questions or comments, you can either ask by unmuting your mic, that way it saves the time. Okay, looks like nobody have a question. Alright, so everybody is serious? Okay, never mind. You have heard it well, I hope. So please take advantage of all this idea and try to purify ourselves. Of course, we are all not very pure, but if we follow a pure devotee, we'll definitely become purified. Right? Easy method. Just follow Prabhupada, follow his instruction of chanting 16 rounds, following the 4 principles and hearing his classes, reading his books. For those who can't come to the temple, still try to wake up earlier in the morning and try to chant your rounds and see a remarkable change in our mind, consciousness will be. Okay? Alright then, I thank all of you for your time with me tonight, and please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to you. Hare Krishna.
Vandeham